As you can tell, I spent a lot of my life being insulted. I mean, it's never really personally bothered me, but there's one insult I never quite understood, was whenever I'm being called a nerd. Don't get me wrong, loser is fine, who doesn't want to be like Charlie Sheen? And of course, least we forget that putting a swear word in front of any insult makes it impossibly more offensive. Doesn't make it any more offensive, it just makes you sound like an idiot. But nerd? I just don't get it.
This vlog's a clunker with our LH1994.
So I thought maybe it was just my understanding of the word nerd that means I didn't understand it. I mean, when being insulted by something, you tend to misunderstand it. But I always thought it was someone who had often above average intelligence, was polite and respectful, and at least had a willingness to learn. So like I said, I thought it was just me. So I went on Facebook and I asked people their definition of the word nerd. And whilst I pride myself on having friends that don't call me a nerd, even though I do have a lot of them, this was all of their This was all of their comments. My loving mum, my name. Thanks, mum. Rachel Christ nerd, cool person that the world doesn't appreciate even though they are proved masters of everything. I like that one a lot. And Ellen Clare is someone with an interest in science fiction or literature. Jojo Poyser says it's someone who enjoys sci-fi but is also a human computer. Matt Hatter Parry says nerd, not even remotely dorky. One of my personal favourites, Chloe Salisbury, says 4-letter word, 6-figure salary. Then finally Connor Skinsey writes, to me a nerd is someone who knows a lot about a lot of random different things. This is different from a geek who knows loads and loads about one specific thing. That's slightly too deep for me to comment on. So I'm going to spend the rest of this video apparently insulting myself by telling you my claim to nerd fame! So if you're a nerd, you obviously have to earn some nerdy clothing. I obviously do. Conveniently I'm wearing one today. It's a Star Wars t-shirt, black and white. I like it. But also I own a Big Bang Theory t-shirt, a Pac-Man t-shirt, a Green Lantern t-shirt, and a Bullet Bill t-shirt. I also own another Mario one, but I can't actually find it. And to be fair, I don't think I could get it on, because I'm cool enough to wear these all at once. Next is nerd memorabilia. I mean, if you're a nerd, you have to own lots of nerdy things. I mean, I already own a gaming headset, but what else do I own? Well, you're about to find out. This is Jonky Bubblehead. There were 400, 500 of them made, I don't really know. He is one of the co-creators of Nerdfighteria. If you don't know what that is, there's a link in the description below. Watch, learn, become great. And nerd fighters, we don't fight nerds, we're pretty pro-nerd. That was the Nerd Fighter sound, by the way, before you think I was just being weird. I also own this Hank Green Ellen Hardcastle album. He's the other half of the Nerdfighteria co-founders. He writes music. It's nerd music. Not quite rock, but it's nerd music. I'm actually out of nerd memorabilia. I'm not a memorabilia nerd, really. Pictures. Pictures seems like a good place to start. Let's go with pictures. So obviously there's the one above my head. You have these ones here, which are film cells. There's one Matrix, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Lord of the Rings, 1 Harry Potter, and 1 Marvel Superheroes, just in case you were wondering. You probably won't, but I'll tell you anyway. Then I've got 2 other pictures there I can both show you, and we'll see getting a DFTBA poster soon. Don't forget to be awesome. That stands for, it's another Nerdfighteria thing. I'm really into Nerdfighteria. And you know, I'd like to think I'm above average intelligence. I'd like learning. I'm not a rude, ignorant chav. And I just enjoy traditionally nerdy things. Also, I was a traditional gamer with Mario, so you know, back in the good old days of gaming. Well, there you go, that's all my nerdy stuff. If you feel like using it to insult me, do. I don't really care. If I had to be stereotyped, I'd want to be a nerd, if I'm honest. New feature! Yay! But there's going to be a new feature as next week. It'll be both in the blogs and the vlogs. It's called Chloe's Words of Wisdom. Basically, I have a friend Chloe, and she's, how can I put this nicely? She's unique. Basically, you have loads of random questions and random thoughts, and often they're outside the realm of what could be considered sane. So yeah, we're going to have a new feature starting next week. Stuff she's said. If they're questions, I'll hopefully have answers. If they're thoughts, I'll leave you to go crazy thinking about them. Like you really, Chloe. You're cool. Most of you probably missed the blog last week, so it's down below as well. That's everything for this week. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are doing. Goodbye.